My people, a man named Mr. Lighton sent me a voice note after watching one of my recent videos. He said, bro, something almost happened to me in Nigeria that could have destroyed everything I built in America. When I listened to his story, I immediately understood why many immigrants abroad move with fear. Mr. Lighton had already lived in America for almost 14 good years. He has a good job. He's an IT guru. His children, they were all in school. He's happily married. Quiet life. No police problem. No immigration issue. Mr. Lighton traveled back to Nigeria on a 3 week holiday after 14 good years in America. Then 2 days later, before his flight back to America, his elder brother, Brother Gideon, called him inside the room privately. Immediately he entered the room. The atmosphere already felt strange. Then Gideon said, I need one small favor from you. At first, Mr. Lighton thought maybe it was family bills, maybe some kind of emergency money that he needs. But then Gideon mentioned the real request. $30,000 cash. Slam it on the table. Mr. Lighton said, his body immediately became cold. Then Gideon continued casually. My children in America needs the money. Bank transfer is stressful. Bros, you can do bank transfer now. No, now. In fact, they will take some small commission from me. And that small commission might even help my children also in America. Don't worry. I will give you some percentage out of the money if you help me take it to America to give to my children there. After all, you're traveling anyway back to America. And immediately, peace disappeared from Mr. Lighton's mind. Now, this is where pressure started slowly. Because Gideon kept behaving like the request was completely normal. And Lighton, it is just cash now. People travel with money every day. You just put it in your bag, you put it in the shoe, and you wrap it. Why are you behaving like mumu? Are you scared? Mr. Lighton tried to explain carefully to his brother. America is different, my brother. One financial problem like this for abroad can follow me for the rest of my life. But Gideon became irritated almost immediately. And he said, you people abroad think too much. Nobody will know. Nobody will know. You have forgotten where you came from, Okay. That line hits Mr. Lighton immediately because many immigrants knows that emotional blackmail. The moment you hesitate, people suddenly act like you betrayed your roots. That same night, Mr. Lighton said he could not sleep properly. Not because of the money itself, but because of one question. What if something goes wrong on my way entering America? He started imagining airport officers stopping him, questioning him, searching his bag, searching his body, interrogating him, stress everywhere, and also, go straight back to his work. Around that midnight, he opened his laptop and started researching airport laws. He started researching currency declaration, custom penalty, money laundering investigations. And the more he read, on that laptop, the more frightening it became to him. Then one thought entered his mind clearly. If anything should happen to me on my way entering America, my brother will remain in Nigeria. I will be the one standing alone explaining myself to the authority. That was the moment his mind now became clear. It's like they removed the veil from his eye. The next morning, Mr. Lighton refused politely. But that was when the real pressure now started. Children began bringing up childhood memories. When you had nothing, we are the one that stood by you. Family is family. When your document was doing shege in America, we were the one that were doing prayer for you. Going to Holy Ghost, going to fire, going to mountain. Then came the line many immigrants hate to hear. So, money is now important than blood, That line almost broke Mr. Lighton emotionally. Because this was not hatred. This was not fear. Soon, other relatives also entered the matter. One of his aunts said, America has changed you, Abi. Another relative said, He now behaved like Oyibo. After all, now 14 years now you're dating. What are people will be saying they don't date there before? And suddenly, protecting yourself now started looking like you're a wicked person. Now listen to me carefully. Just listen. Listen, yeah? Because this was the exact moment Mr. Lighton knew he was making the correct decision of his life. Later that evening, another relative quietly pulled him aside. And what the person told him shocked everybody deeply. Apparently, another traveler had already refused carrying that same money earlier, a few months ago. Immediately, Mr. Lighton heard that. Everything changed inside him. Because now, the question became, why are multiple people refusing these things? That was when the instincts now took over him completely. And deep down, Mr. Lighton, he suddenly felt, if I agree because of blood, because of family, because of guilt, I may regret this action for the rest of my life. Then the final confrontation now comes. The final confrontation, it happened the night before his flight. Mr. Lighton finally looked koro at Mr. Gideon's eyes. And he said directly, I cannot do it. I cannot take this money. Please, my brother, I cannot do it. The whole room was silence and exploded immediately. You are wicked. You think I'm a criminal? You have now become one of them, Abi. After all these years abroad, you want to teach me how America works, Abi? Mr. Lighton said at that moment, he felt deeply angry. But one thought kept repeating in his head. If something happened at the airport to me, nobody will suffer it with me. I will be the one to carry my cross alone. The airport goodbye the next day felt cold. Very, very cold. The brother barely spoke to him. Even some relatives inside that house avoided him emotionally. But while sitting inside the airport waiting room, something strange happened. Relief. For the first time in days, his chest relaxed. Because deep down him, he knew he had protected himself from something dangerous. Then one painful thought entered his mind. Would anybody calling me wicked today save me if my life collapsed tomorrow? And honestly, he already knew the answer. And you know the answer as well. Now, this is where the story now became even more painful. Weeks later, Mr. Lighton and Gideon were still barely speaking properly. Then during another heated argument, Gideon suddenly revealed something shocking. After Mr. Lighton refused, he eventually convinced another man that was traveling to America to please carry the money for him. This time, during the busy, dirty December and January return rush, when many Nigerians abroad are flying back overseas. But from what Mr. Lighton later heard, Nigerian custom officer stopped the traveler that was carrying that money during screening. Immediately, problems started. Question entered. Panic mode entered. Confusion. Crowd started to gather together. Hey, they don't catch one person, money laundry, $30,000. Hey. The money was seized temporarily, while explanations started flying everywhere. And instead of accepting responsibility, my brother Gideon still keep blaming me, emotionally. And he said, if you had helped me the first time, none of this would have happened to my money. That line shocked him deeply. Because even after everything, his brother still refused to see the danger in what he was asking people to do for him. And at that exact moment, Mr. Lighton realized something painful in his life. The same thing that nearly entered my own life had finally happened to someone else. That realization stayed with him deeply. Because suddenly, his fear no longer looks like overthinking. It looks like wisdom. Now, my people, many immigrants watching me right now secretly face similar pressure. Carry this for me. Receive this money. Use your bank. Use your card to collect money from me. Just move small thing quietly. And emotionally, they make it sound harmless because we are family. But once your name enter a problem in Obodo, you may stand alone. Mr. Lighton ended his voice note with one powerful sentence. He said, that no saved my peace. Now, let me ask you honestly, do you feel sympathy for Gideon after losing that $30,000? Or do you believe Lighton was right to protect himself from the beginning? And honestly, do you think Lighton was being overprotective or simply being wise abroad? If you're in Lighton's position, would you have carried the money for the family? And one more thing, yeah? What advice would you give Lighton now concerning his relationship with his brother Gideon, after everything that have happened to him? Drop your honest thought in the comment. And if you enjoyed this real diaspora story that teaches lessons while exposing reality many immigrants quietly face, please subscribe to African Black Hole TV. Because sometimes the warning comes before the danger. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye for now.